Good afternoon, Big Blue Nation. This is Lee with that Kentucky basketball chick coming to you at my parents' house again. It is a beautiful, beautiful day here in Western Kentucky. I think the temperature's around 70, 72 degrees, sunshine. It's a great day to get out in your yard, which is what my mom's doing, and my son, when he was awake, was running around helping her pick up some sticks. So they've been having a great time. But let's talk about Kentucky basketball. It is March 11th, 2025, and tomorrow the SEC tournament begins. But before we get into that, let's talk about what happened on Saturday. Kentucky took on Missouri, and they won. And I backed the Cats, and I almost hit the prediction of the score. I got what Missouri, the 83 part of it, but not the 87. Kentucky actually scored 4 more points. So it was a great game. We led most of the way. And let's just say Andrew Carr came out and I think played the best game he's played since his back injury. He looked like Andrew Carr from pre-conference. So going into March, I think he's going to be vital. I think he's going to be one of our best players. Mari Williams did amazing too, as you know, as expected. But I think the kid that deserves most of the praise would be Colin Chandler. Oh my gosh, he has had the last couple games, last weeks really, he has shown us what type of basketball player he is. And I'm excited. I am so excited. They said he was really, really good when he was recruited. And he just got comfortable. I think the confidence and him getting comfortable playing at such a high level, he has just had his breakout, and here we are. I think he is going to be one of the keys to our bench going into the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. So I think, yeah, it was a great game. I'm so proud of our Cats. We finished strong. That actually, with that win and some other things that happened on Saturday, that moved us to a 6th seed in the SEC tournament. So we are going to be taking on the winner of the Oklahoma-Georgia game. And it is at 8:30 Central Time on Thursday, or 9:30 Eastern Time. It's going to be a late one. We always tend to get the late games, but Big Blue Nation shows up for them. They watch it, so we'll be up for it, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. Some other things that happened on Saturday. Bama beat Auburn at a buzzer beater shot in overtime, and it was great. Now we do need to talk about Chad Baker Mazzaro. I wish he wouldn't do some of the antics that he does. I wish he would retaliate. The kid has got to get his, and he's not a kid really, he's 25 years old. He's got to get his emotions in check. I understand some of these plays, and some of the players had been trying to, they say, bait him. But it's how you respond. He got ejected from the Bama game, and rightfully so. You don't throw an elbow to the back of somebody's head. You could seriously injure them. You could almost you could even go as to hitting it just right, and you just can't think of what could happen. So I applaud the officials, and I applaud them ejecting him, because that type of behavior should not happen, and they need to get that in check. I mean, if you just remember last year in the NCAA tournament in the game to Yale, he got ejected too for intentionally going after a Yale player, retaliating, and I think it cost them the game, and it very well cost them the game. Yes, on Saturday as well. So I applaud the officials. Good call. He should not have done that. But here we are. So Bama beats Auburn. Auburn's still the number one team in the SEC. That loss did bring them to a third seed in the NCAA. Duke takes the number one spot going into this Champions Week or Champs Week. So, what else happened? Arkansas beat Mississippi State at a buzzer beater. You know, as much as Cal is not my favorite coach, not my favorite at all, I'm happy that they won. But his comments this week on the SEC tournament, my goodness. Of course, Big Blue Nation, we do remember that, and we've had it for the last, we had that mindset for the last, I don't know, 5-6 years. And, he flat out said, I don't care about the conference tournament. The only tournament that matters is the NCAA tournament. So we are not going, Kentucky's not going to have to play them, which is probably a blessing because I would hate for Cal to send us home game one. I don't think that would happen, honestly. I know they've beaten us, but I don't think that would happen. But it would be kind of cool to send them home. Kind of funny. But that's not going to be the reality. The only way that we will be able to play Arkansas in the SEC tournament is if Arkansas survives Ole Miss and Auburn and whoever, whatever the outcome of the Tennessee game on Friday. And they'd have to survive that, and we would have to survive for 3 games too. So we'd have to meet them in the SEC championship game. So lots of other, lots of good games Saturday. Feels like March. So here we go. Let's talk about the SEC tournament. The SEC tournament starts tomorrow at noon. I am excited this year. I'm going to watch all the games. It starts with South Carolina versus Arkansas. South Carolina is the 16th seed. They are the lowest seed in the SEC tournament, and Arkansas is number 9. I am going to say Arkansas bounces back, and they are going to beat South Carolina. I don't think there'll be another blowout like they did the other night. That I couldn't believe the other night when South Carolina was just gave Arkansas a good old-fashioned beating. But I think Arkansas will survive that game and go on to play Ole Miss. The next game is Texas versus Vanderbilt, the 13th seed versus the 12th seed. So Texas is the 13th, the 12th is Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's good. They just kind of fall apart in the second half. So I'm going to say Vanderbilt's going to win this one. That's just my opinion. I think Vanderbilt will come out on top. I don't know. Well, I'm looking at the bracket. I've got my bracket here. My mom and my dad and my grandmother and my husband and I are all going to fill out an SEC bracket, kind of like the NCAA. Because I'm looking at it. Ooh. You know what? Texas. Let's pick Texas. Let's pick up an upset. Texas is going to beat Vanderbilt. And then the next game is LSU versus Mississippi State. LSU's the 15th seed. 10 seed is Mississippi State. LSU is not a bad team. They are, I'm at home. We had a great win over them, but it wasn't really close. But I have to say, Mississippi State is a very good team. In this matchup, I'm going with Mississippi State. And then the next game, which this is the game that will determine who Kentucky plays, we are the 14th seed Oklahoma and the 11th seed Georgia. Now, we beat Oklahoma in a nail-biter by 1 point not too long ago. Georgia was the game with all the foul calls earlier in conference play. I am okay with either one of these teams. I think we'll beat either one of these teams. Because, I mean, if we play Oklahoma, we have another away show out. We play Georgia, we have kind of a redemption of, hey, we should have beat you guys. And we shouldn't have happened how the Georgia game. So I think we're not at home. We're all on a neutral site, neutral court. I'm going with Georgia. Georgia beats Oklahoma, and that's who we'll play. I kind of want another crack at Georgia just because of how awful the foul calls and everything was on that game. So that's the first 4 games, the 8 teams. I'm very excited. The next few weeks, this is my Christmas. I've said that before. I love March Madness and the SEC tournament. If I could get down to Nashville, I only live 2 hours from Nashville, but if I could get down to Nashville, oh my gosh, I'd be there right now. I would be there. It's a little harder with a 2-year-old, and we just got back from Mexico, and I don't really want to take him because it wouldn't be fun he's very active. So as I said, a couple of videos ago, it might not be as fun. So, and then we start at noon on Thursday again, with the winner of the first game versus Ole Miss. So I'm excited. Here we go. Now, what do I think about Kentucky's chances of making a cool little run? I saw somewhere that the 6th seed has never won the SEC tournament. Kentucky, let's change that. Can Kentucky win 4 games in 4 days? This team is special, y'all. This team is very special. I think we can. So that means we would have to win our first game, and then we'd have to beat Bama. Alabama. Y'all, Bama is good. They're a 3rd seed in the SEC. They are an incredible team. They have beaten us twice. It is very hard to beat a team the 3rd time and in a year. And here's the thing with that. We had a really, really, really good start to the Alabama game. And then we subbed, and it kind of fell apart. And it wasn't that we weren't capable. And I'm trying to think. I don't think we had Jackson Robinson or Lamont Butler. Let me look at that for the Alabama game. Let me see. Let me look. My internet's a little slow. But I really don't think we did. And if we did, it was not it was limited. I'm looking at the stats, player stats. Okay, so it looks like Butler and Jackson were out. It looks like that. We've had so many injuries. This year, it's hard to keep up. And I think one of the reasons I think we'll make a good run, especially here in the SEC tournament, is that we finally kind of have solidified what our roster is going to be. There's no ifs, ands, hey, he may not play, he may play. I think we have a strong rotation. I think Pope is finally kind of getting how to do this substitution thing without completely wrecking the whole our whole offense, or not really wrecking, that's not the right word. I mean, our offense seems to crumble when we almost do a complete bench change. I think he's realized we have to have 2 or 3 starters in and 2 or 3 bench guys. You can't just like have 4 in one or all 5 switch out. So I think he's learning that. I think he's seeing the analytics. He's a very analytical coach. So I think he's seeing that. I think he's also seeing that Amari Williams, when he's not in we go down a little bit. I mean, we saw that with the Missouri game. We had a great lead, and then it started whittling away, and we're like, get Amari back in, get Amari back in. So that's one reason I think we'll make a solid run. And this team is just, you can't count them out. They're very good. As a collective unit, they are very good. And we can beat anybody. We can beat all Alabama. We can beat Florida. I don't really want to see Florida, but I mean, we beat them. We can beat them again. We can definitely beat Tennessee again. We can beat Auburn. So any of these teams we can beat. But just like that, any team can beat us too. We just have to have a good shooting night. And if we're not having a good shooting night, we've got to come up with, another way to get some buckets. I'm excited. Cannot wait till Thursday. It's Tuesday, so I've still got a little time, but at least there's some games on Wednesday. I hope that Kentucky makes a good run. It would be great to see Kentucky win. I loved what Mark Pope, said, because, we hear John Calipari do his little SEC tournament doesn't matter song and dance. And then we turn around and we hear Mark Pope say, we're going to Nashville and we're going to win. Like, we're going down there to win. It matters. And I love that. So I'm excited. It's a breath of fresh air. We're in March. Let's see what happens. And I think Kentucky can pull out a victory. If they don't win the championship, I really do think we can win a couple games. I really do. I mean, if we beat Alabama, that might be just the fuel we need to beat Florida, if that's who we play. So I'm excited. We'll see what happens. So in the meantime, go Cats!